Welcome to this first video in a series which will be about the on-call scheduling application on the ServiceNow platform. My name is Morten Pettersen. I am a Norwegian living in Switzerland, and I am the founder of IT Attendant. In my previous job, I was working on the customer side of things with ServiceNow, and during my time there, I did get some hands-on experiences with the on-call scheduling application. And since my impression is that it might be underutilized and perhaps not fully understood, I thought it might be a good idea to make a couple of videos about this to share the knowledge with ServiceNow administrators and developers out there, and also with stakeholders on the business side who might be interested to know that these capabilities actually exist within ServiceNow. It's not my intention to look at the application itself so much in this video. That will come later. My main goal with part one is instead to give you some background on where the on-call concept comes from and show you what big IT companies like Google, IBM, and Amazon are saying about it. But just in case the topic is new to you, but you're familiar with ServiceNow user interface, we're going to take a quick look at some elements of the app so you have a way to visualize some of this while watching this video. Now, you might already know that there was a time when the standard way of displaying a user interface for fillers was called UI 16, and this technology is still a part of the platform and will be there for quite some time going forward, I suspect. Today, ServiceNow has a new technology for presenting UI for fillers called Workspaces. And the UI 16 is often referred to as classic UI. I'm going to quickly just show you some of those classic apps for managing on-call scheduling, just in case you've looked at this in the past already, but you're not realizing that this is the app I am talking about in this video. So here we are in Zurich instance. It's my PDI on the Zurich release. It's the classic interface with Next Experience turned on. If I click on the All menu and type on-call scheduling, we see that we have application menu for on-call scheduling, and there's a range of modules. I'm not going to show you all of them, but we can have a look at this wizard, because you probably looked at this before if you've studied the on-call scheduling app. It's just a wizard that guides you through the setup, the creation of a new schedule. You can add members, you can do the escalation setup, and then review and publish the schedule. There's another app for getting an overview of all the different schedules. You can look at all of them. You can have a filter for only seeing the schedules where you belong to the group. If there's a lot of schedules, that can be handy, but that's how it looks like. And you have the let's look at the calendar view. We also have that in the classical UI interface. We have a module called on-call calendars. Let's click it, and it will show you the schedules that you care about in the calendar view. Interesting to see now in Zurich, there's this info message. It says a faster, fresher on-call scheduling is ready in Service Operations Workspace. You can now explore this exciting addition. Click here. I don't know if you saw it, but it's also there when you use the wizard. So let's go into the workspace then, Service Operations Workspace specifically, and just have a quick look in case that's where you maybe you've seen this in the past. I'm logged into the Service Operations Workspace, impersonating a user called Pat. He doesn't have any special access in the system right now, but he has the ITIL role, and the dashboard looks a bit sad. No data available. So, but anyway, we're just gonna look at the two menu items that are relevant for on-call scheduling. First one is Teams. Notice the wording. It says manage all your teams and their on-call schedules from one place. So it's not just about showing you groups, because technically that's what it's doing. It's showing you groups. Uh, but there's more to it than that. You can also manage on-call scheduling using this menu item in the workspace. We also have this item called schedules, which then refers to on-call schedules specifically. It's not showing you other types of schedules, which there are, there's lots of different schedules in ServiceNow, but these are specifically on-call schedules. Okay, that's how it looks like in the workspace. So then, now you know maybe that, okay, I've been actually looking at this for a couple of months already, or maybe even years, but just ignored it. But now you know that this is what we're talking about. One of my first memories about the on-call concept and someone getting paged um, is from watching TV shows about hospitals. And it does seem like this is one of the workplaces that pioneered the idea. It also appears that the IT industry adopted this idea in the 1970s when mainframes and batch jobs was the main driver of the IT operations. At that time, being on call often meant being near the data center physically and reachable by a pager. So let's say if a critical job failed at 2 a.m., some IT staff might need to drive in to the site to restart systems or swap some tapes. My first IT job was at a service desk, and it was more or less mandatory to join the on-call rotation. So when it was my shift, I was handed a specific mobile phone that we had for this purpose, where the end users could call and leave a voicemail outside of the normal business hours. By the way, yes, I did use AI to create this photo. The prompt I used was the following: a doctor at a hospital using a pager, receiving a text on the device to report for duty at the ER. So not bad, not bad at all, I would say. It's just it's interesting that the AI would think that humans we want to read the text by looking at the backside of the device. That's just a bit funny. In 2025, I would say that the on-call concept for IT operations is most likely something you will discover when looking at the practices of DevOps and SRE. The SRE practice, also known as Site Reliability Engineering, originated at Google and was already established in the early 2000s. So it came out before DevOps. Today, SRE is considered to be one of the practical ways you can implement DevOps in your organization. And there's a whole chapter in Google's SRE book that is available online that describes how being on call should look like. So we're going to take a look at some highlights from that chapter, as well as other vendors' descriptions of SRE and on-call recommendations. After Google's description, we will be looking at what Amazon AWS has to say, then IBM, and lastly, SolarWinds. At this point, you might be thinking that this is starting to sound like a DevOps and SRE tutorial. If your organization is already familiar with these practices, then great. But I am going to make the case during this video about why you should consider to adopt on-call scheduling as a concept, at least in your IT operations, if not also using ServiceNow to implement it, even if these practices are not relevant for your team. The SRE book by Google, chapter 11, being on call. Some of the highlights for me from this chapter is we can start with this one. There are several pitfalls in the organization of on-call rotations and responsibilities that can lead to serious consequences for the services and for the teams if not avoided. So to me, I think it's interesting that they also highlight the teams themselves. It's not just about the services, but in terms of why you want to do this, why is it worth getting organized about on call. It's also has to do with the team, the level of maybe fairness and happiness in the team, not just the services. My next highlight from Google's SRE book is this one. We cap the amount of time SRE spend on purely operational work at 50%, at minimum 50% of an SRE's time, meaning the engineer. So 50% of an engineer's time should be allocated to engineering projects that further scale the impact of the team through automation, in addition to improving the service. This translates into something like this. You want to use an on-call tool to make sure that your whole team is not effectively on call all the time. If you organize the schedules and the shifts using a tool, you can make sure that your engineers or IT ops resources will be given the opportunity to not be on call and give them the ability to focus on other fun stuff or meaningful projects that can ultimately make the team more effective in handling future incidents. Here's one more highlight. When on call, an engineer is available to perform operations on production systems within minutes, according to the paging response times agreed to by the team and the business system owners. Typical values are 5 minutes for user-facing or otherwise highly time-critical services, and 30 minutes for less time-sensitive systems. Let's imagine that you're a tech lead or in some other capacity leading a team of engineers, and this team is responsible for a set of services in your organization. And then if you have an SLA for mean time to acknowledgement, that is 5 minutes, as in this example in the SRE book, for the critical services, then it's going to be important not to waste time just trying to find information about shifts and various communication channels. So if an agent at an operations center or command center type of unit is the one that detects the alert and needs to escalate it to your team, and your specific team has its on-call information stored in your SharePoint site, while another team puts it on their Confluence page, it goes without saying that a lot of minutes will be spent just finding useful information. Meanwhile, the SLA clock is ticking and it's not supposed to be on pause just because your process is slow. If your organization is serious about the SLAs, then using the on-call tool to automate these escalations is not really optional, it's something you have to do. Moving over to Amazon AWS, let's take a look. They have an article called "What is Site Reliability Engineering?" They have a paragraph called "On-Call Management Tools," and it says on-call management tools are software that allow SRE teams to plan, arrange, and manage support personnel who deal with reported software problems. SRE teams use the software to ensure there's always a support team on standby to receive timely alerts on software issues. So my takeaway from this, I think what they're saying is you either need a tool if you're not going to use a tool, at least you have to be very consistent, right? Everyone has to use the same spreadsheet if spreadsheet is your cup of tea. But I think that's difficult to kind of stick with and to be reliable. So if you have a tool, one, you have to be using the same tool. It's not gonna have that same effect in your organization if you use different tools, slash different files, slash different knowledge bases, etc. So even if you have tools, it will not be as effective if you have multiple tools. So you got to stick with the same one. Everyone has to use the same, and the tool will allow you to plan, arrange, manage, support personnel, those things. All of that is gonna be there in the ServiceNow implementation of on-call scheduling for sure. I'm gonna show you that in the next video in this series. Just coming back to this thing, the word SRE is going to pop up a lot in these articles. So don't let your mind start to wander, and don't think that this is not really for you. If your team is not an SRE team, but just a normal team doing IT operations, this is still for you. The benefits of using on-call management tools and doing it in an organized way, it's still for you. Okay, so stick with me. To finish this one off, the last sentence here, to receive timely alerts on software issues, which I think will only be consistent and something you can rely on if you use a tool. If you have this command center or first line, whatever you call it, and there's a human that is gonna catch an alert. The alert is maybe about some critical issue with the Oracle databases, and then this human needs to kind of figure out who's the Oracle team again, who works on that team, who is on call tonight. Where did I find this information again? Was it SharePoint? Let me have a look at their Confluence page. Now I remember they have it in Opsgenie. So yeah, you get the picture. Next one is IBM, and they also have a page with the same name called "What is Site Reliability Engineering?" (SRE). Before I go into the article, just a quick tip, YouTube tip. IBM has a lot of good videos actually on many different topics, IT topics, and really good presenters. I like the way they present them with this screen that they're writing on and explaining difficult topics, breaking it down, making it more easy to digest. So just a quick YouTube tip for you there. Okay, under the heading benefits of SRE, we do get one sentence. Actually, AWS said two. IBM is cutting it down to just one, but it's not a competition, is it? I think most people will anyhow, if they're interested in SRE, all the details about that. I think Google's SRE book is kind of the main source of information in any case. What they're saying is optimize incident response by building efficient on-call processes and streamlining alerting workflows. Yeah. So check that box. ServiceNow On-Call Scheduling app. Yeah, it's going to do that. I think all the other ones is also going to do that, for sure. If you have a professional enterprise ready tool to manage this. So in terms of how will this be done exactly, building the efficient on-call processes and streamlining the learning workflows, we're going to look at this in the next video. But certainly there's a really good foundation there because I'm thinking if your organization is using ServiceNow, the incident management process is probably one of those processes that are really well anchored, and there's no doubts. Every major incident in your company is supposed to be there. Maybe it doesn't always happen, but that's the process I would expect. So when you do all the incidents anyway in ServiceNow, there's a really good foundation there for having the most efficient on-call process. If you do that natively in the same tool, that's one of my arguments here. SolarWinds is a company that is doing monitoring observability. They also have ITSM tools like ServiceNow. I don't have any experiences with that. Same as AWS, IBM, they have this article called "What is Site Reliability Engineering?" The SR role explained. So I'm thinking if you want like a different flavor or see maybe what are the other options for implementing SRE other than Google's vision, it's probably worth having a look at this. Under the heading SRE role responsibilities, they touch on the topic of on-call. It's you cannot really just read that sentence. I'm thinking in this case you kind of have to digest the whole chapter to make sense of it. But it does I think spin out of this notion that you should try to make sure your engineers don't spend too much time on operations. Like you want to make sure that they have a set amount of time to work on other things than the small fires or big fires, right? That's that's kind of the thing here. And when you give them that time, that spare time, they're not on call all of the time. Then they can start to improve things, like work on more continual improvement. So defining ownership of specific tasks can allow SREs or engineers, you can replace it with engineers if you want, to conduct the other facets of their job, like performing post-incident reviews. And that's not just a trivial thing, right? If you have some resources in your team, they're always busy with incidents, then they're not gonna do a good post-incident review because they don't have the time to do it. And planning and optimizing on-call rotations and documenting knowledge in runbooks. All good things. All good things there. And as you know, ServiceNow also has a knowledge base solution. So there's going to be an easy way to kind of connect everything in that same platform. Last one I wanted to show you is this article from sreschool.com. Might be my favorite one actually, because this I believe is vendor neutral. I'm not aware that this website is attached to any vendors, and it's just a good I think overview of all the different things that has to do with on-call scheduling. All the terms are kind of mentioned here, so you can use it as a lookup just to see what is really meant by primary on-call, secondary on-call, SLO, error budget, these things. So a good one to keep in your bookmarks, I would say. Let's take a look at this list of components. They're mentioning for scheduling tools, meaning on-call scheduling tools. They're mentioning some of the other ones like PagerDuty, OpsGenie, and VictorOps as alternatives. So my intention with this video is to make you aware of that there is also an option of using ServiceNow actually, and it could save you some money in terms of licensing costs. I don't know much about PagerDuty. I'm guessing it's a good one. I think a lot of big companies use it. That's my impression. Opsgenie is an Atlassian product. And if you're using it, you're probably aware at this point that it seems to be going away. That's my impression. They seem to be, I think, taking it off the market this year, and it's gonna like integrate. It's merging with their ITSM tool, and then there was another tool I think that will maybe get some of those same functionalities. So we should maybe ask ourselves the question why is Atlassian thinking that it's a good idea to have the on-call scheduling tool as a part of the ITSM tool, right? Why is it such a good fit together? ServiceNow has been doing this for a long time already, so you should, if you're gonna look at that and you have ServiceNow, you should maybe do a little bit of analysis and see what makes the most sense here. VictorOps was acquired by Splunk, so it's a Splunk product. I think it will change its name, just for your information. They're mentioning monitoring tools, Prometheus, Grafana, Datadog. Just so you know, ServiceNow also has a product called Event Management, and you can integrate actually all of these monitoring tools plus a range of other ones. Like actually any monitoring tool can be integrated with ServiceNow Event Management, like SolarWinds, for example, that we mentioned before. Dynatrace, SCOM. It's really a long list. And what you can do is you can aggregate or group relevant alerts together, and then it can go into the incident management tool as well automatically if that's what you prefer, and then trigger the on-call scheduling system also, all in the same platform. So my plan is to eventually make videos about that as well. And then these other things like escalation policies, communication channels, notification acknowledgements is all supported in ServiceNow. No worries. It checks those boxes. Postmortem is an SRE concept. And again, later when I get the time, I'm going to be making a video about the SRE module in ServiceNow, which will also give you this ability to do postmortems, in addition to supporting some of those other concepts like error budgets and SLA, SLOs. So that's going to be fun to do. They also give you some real world use cases here, which is interesting, I think, to look at. If you're really new to this, then it does a good job of kind of giving you the basics of it. Why or when is this useful? Under benefits and limitations and common challenges or limitations, they're talking about alert fatigue. So having this organized on-call scheduling system, one of the points of doing it is that you don't want to activate the on-call resource for all types of alerts or incidents. You just want to trigger the notification and activate them if they have an actual shift, which is maybe outside office hours, right? They're maybe spending time with their families or friends or whatever, and some alerts can actually wait. You can look at them the next morning, review it, and figure out how to prevent this from happening again. Some alerts which maybe are impacting the performance of the system. Maybe you have advanced monitoring, and you can really see that the system is slowing down, or you have some unacceptable errors that will impact the end users of that system, or maybe it's even customers, paying customers. You have to address that immediately. But in most types of monitoring setups, there's going to be alerts that can actually wait until the next morning. So that's one of the things that on-call organized on-call tools can help you manage, right? And then for the complex setup part, integrating, monitoring, alerting, and scheduling tools requires significant effort. Yes, I think that's a true statement. However, it's going to be a bit easier, I think, if more of the components, let's say, are on the same system or on the same platform. Again, going back to we were talking about Atlassian and how they're moving away from Ops Genie as a separate product, and they're moving some of that functionality into their ITSM product instead. I think this is kind of what that is about, and like that's one of the reasons why do something like that, right? Less complexity. And again, later in my videos, I'll be talking about event management. I'm going to be talking about the SRE applications, and then we can really see how this all comes together on the same platform. We are at the end now, and I wanted to wrap things up and summarize it a little bit. If you got inspired by this video and you want to start a discussion in your IT department about using on-call as a tool, either in ServiceNow or externally, the key word I would use and emphasize is going to be organized. This is about having an organized on-call system versus non-organized. If you work in IT for an organization that uses ServiceNow, you're not hearing about on-call for the first time when watching this. So the real discussion is going to be exactly how to organize it and agree across the whole IT department on which tool to use for the benefit of the whole company. We have been looking at the concept of where being on call comes from. We looked at the history of it in the IT operations context. We have seen that Google has incorporated on call into their SRE practices and described this in their SRE book, which is freely available online. I have hopefully with this video raised some awareness about ServiceNow's native support for doing organized on-call scheduling, and giving you some arguments as to why you should consider it versus other external tools that you might be paying for today. I'm not going to ask you to hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell buttons because I'm not that type of YouTuber. I think always reminding viewers that they can choose to like and subscribe is a bit worn out, so not doing that at all. I did in the start of this video give you just a sneak peek of how the on-call app looks like inside ServiceNow, but I will go much deeper in my next video, so I hope you will watch that one too. And if your organization would like some assistance with this topic, I would be happy to provide this in the capacity of my company, IT Attendant, which is registered as a limited liability company here in Switzerland. You can connect using LinkedIn or the email address provided below.